Absolutely. That leads me to the next question. Well, I thought I was going to call you something different, like Mr. Ade or whatever. Ade, come to think of it, is there hope for Nigeria? Because we can't tell people to stay connected to their roots, and it's, I mean, everything around them is telling them otherwise, that they don't feel safe, everything is not in order. What do you say?
I think nature has a funny way of correcting things, even if it's not corrected by humans. If you're paying attention, you realize that I'm not saying God, I'm saying nature.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that is an undertone of your personal spirituality. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get to that side someday. But so, is there hope for Nigeria? Is there hope? Should they look back to? Is there anything to look forward to, or is there a reason to go back someday? Is there hope for Nigeria?
There is hope for Nigeria. Unfortunately, things have got to the point where it may not be in our lifetime or in our children's lifetime. But
for real. So why would they go back to where there is still not, like, it's going to be okay in their lifetime? Why would they go back to lifetime?
People like us will have to return and put the foundation down. Then some people would obviously pick from that piece of work and run with it. But this thing, if something that's, I mean, if things that are destroyed in 5 minutes, it could take 5 years to build. We've neglected institutions, parastatals for decades. It's going to take a long time to build those back, even with the right person, right leadership, and the right mindset.
So what you're saying is that there is hope, but it's not going to be like a quick fix. It's not going to be like an instant kind of thing, like Indomie noodles.
No, it won't. There's no shortcut, unfortunately. And I don't know if you had a story of an entrepreneur that was actually thriving in some part of Lagos. That then all of a sudden there was a new proposal. Well, a proposal that was on ground that actually ran on the path of the proposal. It was a coastal road proposal.
I remember. Let's leave the name of I know the organization.
So I'm an investor. I invest in various businesses. If I was part of that investment, and I feel for the guy, and I feel for the investors as well, because what that would do is deter investors from looking at opportunities in Nigeria. These are the things we're doing that is damaging our image of getting investment from diaspora.
Okay.
So things like that we need to fix. Then we need to fix, I mean, if you're in a place and health-wise, you need to quickly fly to somewhere else to get a medical checkup and get medical attention. Right. You can't really stay there for long. Even though I'm planning to be there, but I know I can easily get on a plane and fly back to the UK or fly somewhere else if I need attention or any. But there are loads of people that are not in that situation. And there are loads of people that have sold everything. I mean, the Japa is a new thing now. Loads of people have sold everything they had in Nigeria to move over. So why are they going back? What are they going back to? Luckily for someone like me, I got to a point. I left Nigeria long before any of this hardship. Right. Only because, the university are striking every day, and things are not stable, and Dad does business here. So I thought, if I come here, I'll be able to help him and then further my education and settle into the system, which I did.
Right.
So I've now gone through the cycle of growing up, understanding my roots, doing a lot of research, and then getting to a point in life that, now it's time to move back. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Fortunately, I think I read in the news last week that I think you're talking about, I'm trying to keep brands out of this. We're talking about Landmark. I saw a kind of signing of some business agreement with some other state government in Nigeria to develop some resorts, and we wish him well because we want diasporans to have hope. You're talking about when we're in secondary school. I went to secondary school, but because we call it high school in America, I'm always saying when I was in high school, So there's this thing they talk about, factors of production and things that affect the, businesses. They'll talk about political instability and all those kind of things, policies on assault and all those kind of things. So yeah, like you said, we hope that our environment in Nigeria, the political and economic, socio-political and economic environment will be conducive, because like what you are saying is that you sympathize with those people who are not even having that mind to go back home. It's not because they are bad or wrong, it's just because of the system, and it's not offering hope. And definitely nobody wants to go to an unpredictable environment that might just make them to be back on their knees if they are not careful. And with all careful planning, they don't want Nigeria to happen to them, and then probably they feel a little bit more secured where things are more organized and a little bit more of a predictable investment environment. Yeah. So every investment involves risks and uncertainties, but at least there should be some manageable variables that will not leave somebody totally planless and gented, like we say in Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're talking about our roots, let's go back. I'm very passionate about my Yoruba-ness as a person, even though I'm very, very tribalized.
Yes.
Right from my childhood days, I have more friends out of Yoruba land than even Yoruba itself. When I was getting married, out of my 5 groomsmen, I think, no, 4, 2 of them were Igbos. My best man was Igbo. You understand? So I've been like kind of, you know, and I have friends all over the country. But when I look at Yoruba-ness, kind of, this is not a Yoruba conversation, but I want to use what I know.
Of course.
It's just like going from the known to the other side. I look at our traditional institutions, for example. Recently, a new king was, is not elected, right? He's not selected, he's not appointed.
Yes,
what is the word now? What is the word?
I'll say crowned, but it's not crowned
okay,
yet.
Let's say announced. Let's say announced.
Announced, yes.
Yeah. The coronation will come later. I think the governor has already handed over the staff of office. I get concerned when I look at the traditional institution. Look at the throne of the Alaafin, for example. Is a highly exalted throne. This is a kingdom that extended to even all of most of the West African region in the past. You know, the Oyo Empire, before the colonizers came to interrupt our, our society.
Development.
And I look at this tool of the Ooni of Ife, for example. Maybe I should start from there. I personally get concerned with certain. Maybe it's because of these days of social media. Our kings right now, especially the most paramount ones, they are very young people, very young. I think I do not know the age range of the Alaafin. I've not checked that, but they all need to be in the same bracket with us. Like you were making me, you're saying you are my bro, like my younger brother. You're making me making me old instantly on the screen. I'm not as that old, But what I'm saying is that we are still like the same generation with them. So you could have been the Alaafin or me the Ooni, or is it me that will be the Alaafin or you the Ooni? So where I'm going with that is this. Yes. Even though you think they are young getting to that throne, you'll be surprised that even their fathers, some of them got to the throne before them. But these are institutions that are having a lot of negative things around them. The other Alaafin, Baba in his age, very agile man, he was a boxer, he was a sportman, very highly intelligent. You need to look at the speeches. But you see some young people that he got married to later that brought bringing embarrassment, in the social space to not the throne now, because we have to separate the throne from the monarch himself, at least to the monarch, and look at the Ooni thing as well. It's just about, I don't know how they are managing that space that they bring their private life to the public in such a way, especially with the Olori thing, the scandals things, and then he married en masse, and apart from that, you just see all the wives want to show off in the social media and everything. Another concerning thing, sorry, I'll let you answer. I'm bringing these things so that you can address them together. They are surrounding the throne. Is for me to see the Ooni of Ife. I'm a Christian, for example. I'm a minister of the gospel in my own right, by the grace of God. But I can feel grieved in my spirit, even though people say that the Ooni was kneeling down for God and not for the pastor. Don't let me even go there. But the point is that the kind of submission that there is no divide, like UK that you are, there's a kind of handshake between religion and the state, okay, and everywhere. But at the same time, the Queen is still the head of the Church of England. You understand? And nobody in Yoruba, they say that where you call the head, you don't step on your head, you don't walk on your head, that kind of a thing. there's a kind of I don't know if to call it desecration. You see these are monarchs, especially those big stools of Oni. I don't know about Alafin, but I know this is not about Oni himself, but it's just about our roots. I see him like attending parties and people, you know, kind of bashing him for that and that kind of a thing. It looks like his face is too much seen, where the sacredness of that throne in the past, you don't get to see them, you know, too often because they are deified. Okay.
Yes.
Now at this point, we see them maybe because they are younger or whatever, and they have that energy and, you know, not those kind of whatever the kind of mindset. But there's a training school called IPEBI, where you know the royalty, even in Britain, you see there's a way they groom them for that royalty and kind of thing. So putting all of these things together, the selection process, the way those individuals that are manning those tools, the projection that they are having in the public, you see people talk to them anyhow these days and all of these things. What would you say about the traditional institutions in our Yoruba space now? We can use other kings by extension, but I just brought in those two because they are very visible. Yeah, that's a long question, right?
It's a long question. You covered a lot of things, so you'll have to pretty much interject every time whenever I'm talking, so that we can start answering them piece by piece.
Yeah.
But by and large, I think Oni has done a great job.
He has done a great job.
He's done a great job.
Kábíyèsí o.
Yes.
Kábíyèsí Ọjájá, the second, right?
Yeah, Ọjájá Kejì, yes.
Ọjájá Kejì.
Yes. I think he's done a great job.
Ade something.
Ọba Ogunwusi.
Ogunwusi, Kábíyèsí Oríadé.
I think he's done a great job because I've seen some of I am an African spiritualist.
Oba Ade
Dayo Ogunwusi, yes. Yes, I'm an African spiritualist.
Really?
I renounced Christianity about 4 or 5 years ago, based on the fact that I do not want to call on a foreign savior. I'd rather call on my own ancestors to save me or to support me.
So you and I are sitting on two different religious divides. That's so?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call it a divide. I'll call it a perception.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are looking at it from two different perspectives.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not divided. We're having a conversation. We're talking about way forward.
I heard, sorry, maybe people will now see our connection. I heard that you're still supporting your home church when they have things to do.
Of course.
Really, despite your...
Even if Imam come to me and say, this is what we're trying to do in my community, I will give them money. I'll give them money. They will go and do what they need to do. And if pastor says, oh, this is your portion, we're doing this, we're doing that, this is what we allocated that you need to do, I will do it.
Sorry, I barged into your thoughts. Continue on.
Absolutely. I think that's what we need to do so that I can answer all your question. But as I was saying earlier, I think Oni did a great job because I feel like initially his first few years was a bit wobbly.
Rocky.
Because he had, very wobbly and rocky, and whatever time we want to use for it, I think it was very unstable. Yes. On the family side, on the home front, women were obviously acting up in ways that we've never heard or read. And recently, I'm actually very proud of the way he's managed that. Decided, and if you notice, we've not had much from his palace in the last few years, compared to when he had one woman. So
all the drama.
Yeah, so I mean, I do some sort of investment, and coming from a finance background, I think sometimes you have to diversify, and he's done that very well.
God, this guy, you are so mean.
And he's done that so well that he doesn't have to worry about that aspect now. Now he can focus on his job of developing the community.
Diversify.
My brother, it's just that simple. And I think different cases, the Alafin that transitioned, Ikuba Bayeye,
Aláṣẹ Èkejì Òrìṣà.
Aláṣẹ Èkejì Òrìṣà.
Ọbalamidi Adeyemi.
Yes. He had a different dilemma. The man is getting to a point in his life that he needed some sort of action.
Ajidewe.
Yes.
Ajidewe.
He needed some sort of action in the palace. Just people tell us all sorts. So he invited all these girls to come and stay in the palace and be his queen and all of that.
They caused a lot of some scandals, you know.
Yes, they did, because there's no way you can put all these people together and not expect friction.
I mean, especially in the social space, in the social media space, that doesn't look good on Yorubas and that throne.
I know. But then another thing that we don't look at is what they are doing in diaspora. For example, when Ooni visited Cuba, people were actually saying, look, in the olden days, according to their own understanding, they feel like when a king visits, there's got to be some sort of sacrifice that really important sacrifices that needs to be made. And people were ready to sacrifice themselves voluntarily.
Excuse me?
Yes.
For real?
Yes. If you check places like that, places like Cuba, places like Brazil, people were actually volunteering. Now, that's how strong these people believe in our tradition and culture.
I will circle back. Is that the throne that's supposed to be bowing? He has a right to be a Christian, but the way these people conduct themselves in the religious space, okay, look at what happened to Gandhi, Oba Gandhi, Kabiyesi.
Yes.
He was in America for a long time, he was a pastor and everything. The kind of subjugation, I'm a Christian, I'm a minister of the gospel, but I have my reservation about the extent to which our traditional still goes. They can bow to God, they can give honor to God, but the kind of subjugation of the authority. Okay, I'm an interviewer here, not the interviewee. What do you say to that? When people are respecting you abroad and you don't seem to respect yourself and that throne enough, what do you say to that?
I think that's the society. I don't know.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I see what you see. And I don't want to share my strong opinion here on that, but I'll still say this. I'll still say that for me, I find it difficult, especially with my own spirituality. I find it really hard to understand that there's a reason they call these people Aláṣẹ Èkejì Òrìṣà. These are meant to be people that could actually be closer to the universe or to nature or God, for want of a better word.
Are we and they all victims of colonization or colonial mentality and brainwashing? Because it's not personal, they came through a process.
Oh yeah, definitely, most definitely. And I think the Ikpebi process is been truncated in a lot of ways. Sometimes, in some cases, it takes three months. In some cases, it takes shorter. Some cases, it takes 7 days. So there's nothing that is aligning with our original beliefs any longer. We've truncated it to the point where we are trying to align it as much as possible to our own view and beliefs, not to the root, the culture that was handed over to us. There was a scenario when Alaafin Ikuba Bayeye transitioned. The Muslim decided they wanted to pray for him, and they were praying, reciting all sorts upon his body. And there was a lot of social media hoo-ha that that shouldn't happen. So I reached out to the head of Olorisha in Oyo.
Wow.
I reached out to him.
You did?
And I said, Baba, please explain to me, is this wrong or should this? And the man broke it down and said, look, Oba Balore Ongbogboo.
Exactly, it belongs to everybody. It's
yes.
a all, Christian, Muslim, traditional.
Exactly. If the Christians said they want to pray for him, they are free to do so. But it was put through the guild. I want to call it guild. Obviously, some sort of initiation. When you are in Ikpebi, you go through training, you go through some sort of initiation into certain guilds. Because it's Oyo, you go through a Shango guild. That is confirmed anywhere. Nobody can question that. If it's Ife, it will be Obatala, and if it's Oshogbo, it will be Oshun.
Idalu Nishelu.
Yes. So I think people are now beginning to truncate these processes. So these are the places where they should be telling you that these are the do's, these are the don'ts, and these are the things you cannot do. How can you kneel down? You're not even meant to kneel down as a king. From the moment you become a king,
you got it.